I'm Tony.
I'm Eric.
We are the sons of San Fernando.
We've been friends for over 40 years.
And grew up together in the San Fernando Valley.
These are the stories of our experiences as adventurous Gen X latchkey slackers from back in the day.
And don't forget to hit the follow or subscribe button so you don't miss an episode. Relationships are the core of our existence as human beings, and we suck at them. and it starts from infancy and into childhood and into school, and then they get cemented in school, especially at recess. That's when your relationships, that is how you learn to deal with human interactions for the rest of your life.
Recess is the very first time we do that, because you go into school, you start school, you're in class, and then they give you an hour or two of class, and then
15 goddamn minutes.
And then they let you out into the world.
Into the yard.
Or in our case,
a prison yard.
We did. Great. So let's paint that picture.
Well, we were at a Catholic.
We were at a Catholic school.
We
went to Our Lady of Grace and
there was no grass.
California. There's no grass.
No, it was all asphalt.
That's why OLG was coined
a prison.
Our Lovely Grass.
Our Lovely Grass, because there weren't any.
It did feel like a prison. There were a lot of gates, a lot of asphalt.
A lot of gates and asphalt. It's a fucking prison with nuns.
Yeah.
That should have been the subtitle outside.
OLG, prison with nuns.
Exactly.
Have you seen that movie?
Prison with Nuns? It's great. Yeah.
It stars
Beverly D'Angelo
and John Travolta. It's a little
I so want to see that movie. Bev and Johnny in prison with nuns. Yeah, no, that's a great 70s.
Bev and Johnny.
Bev and Johnny.
They're your best friends.
I love Bev. I was a big Beverly D'Angelo fan for a long time. She was in Hair, which I loved and have seen a billion times. And then, of course, The Vacations.
Brilliant.
Okay, so we're in a prison because there's nothing but asphalt,
and you're having to you start school and you're having to learn your whatever, you're reading, writing, your arithmetic.
Well, you're having to learn. I'm having to daydream.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. But then, right. So socializing, the very first socializing you really learn is in recess, because now you're out.
Yeah.
I mean, not really supervised. I mean, they're watching to make sure you don't kill each other, shiv another kid.
You don't want to shiv a kid.
Shiv a kid.
You don't want to shiv a kid. No, but that sounds like a Jewish rite of passing. Passage. Yeah, the shiva kid.
On the day of his shiva kid.
Yes. Exactly.
But that's where you grow and you learn relationships, and if for 15 minutes at a time at recess.
Yeah, was it 15? I have a thought in my head that it was shorter than 15.
It might have been. It might have been 10.
12? We got 15 when we were young, and then as we got older, they cut it down to 12 minutes.
They may have, but what happened was you would, generally before I would go to school, at least, I'd have a big bowl of sugary cereal.
Me too.
So I'd be all hopped up on sugar.
Which was your favorite? What cereal were you eating? What was your cereal?
I was a big Cookie Crisp fan. No. Back in those days, no. Cookie Crisp might not have been around.
Nonsense.
It would have been.
Nonsense.
No, I know what it was.
What?
Boo Berry.
Pooh Berry?
Boo Berry. My brother was a big Count Chocula fan. I was down with the Boo Berry.
Boo Berry's not that far off from Captain Crunch berries. Mm-hmm. Basically the same thing.
Yeah, no, we wouldn't. We went heavy Boo Berry.
Not
and
a Lucky
Count
Charm
Chocula.
guy?
But I was the one who I'm sure a lot of kids. I'd pick out all the marshmallows and eat the.
How are parents so stupid? Absolute morons, giving their children bowls of sugar.
The same ones that were loading us up with margarine at dinner time.
Margarine.
Just a big stick of margarine. Here, they put it on a plate. Eat it. It's good for you.
Sugar and chemicals. That was my diet as a child.
How
sugar
we are
and
still
chemicals.
Alive is a fucking miracle.
Well, right now.
Give it 10 minutes,
exactly.
Which is the length of a recess.
Oh, God. It felt like less.
So it would be all hopped up on sugar from breakfast. You'd go in, you'd be trying to learn a thing or two, and they're like, okay, you can't pay attention for more than a couple hours. We're going to send you out into the yard to run around like fucking apes.
On the asphalt.
Which is 1 billion degrees
that's right.
in the summer. Yeah.
It's funny because it was always when we went back to school in September, it was just 108 outside in the valley. And back then, there were no emissions laws. So you're talking about it was a bad.
Oh, you were sucking
serious
smog.
It was an air quality warning day every
day.
single
Yeah,
day.
it was
in
just
September.
how bad was it? Yeah.
But the thing is like the asphalt itself was probably 140.
Yeah.
If you measure the actual temperature of the asphalt.
I did with my tongue. I just
Wow, right.
just right on there.
Yeah, no, that's good.
And at recess, you didn't, as I remember, you couldn't. I don't think we could have any food. So we already
couldn't
had.
have?
I don't think so. I think.
What if you had food that you brought?
They went. The nuns would fucking
they
whack
would,
you
right?
with
We did have rules
ruler.
about that.
Yeah,
which is crazy. Sustenance, nutrition.
They wanted to wait. They didn't want you to ruin your lunch.
What's funny is that now that is called nutrition. The break itself.
It's called nutrition.
It's called nutrition.
Yeah.
But when we were in school, it was
get the fuck out for a while and go run around.
Don't eat anything.
Like go run around like idiots.
Because you got to run off the Captain Goddamn Crunch or the Pooh Berries that you were eating.
Pooh Berry.
The goddamn Pooh Berries needed to be run off on the asphalt.
And here's the thing: it was just long enough for us to run around and get sweaty because you couldn't really have like a game of basketball or it was too hot and you couldn't really do much of anything because there wasn't enough time.
No,
you
so we were running around like fucking banshees.
Yeah.
No organization.
So you come back and then you can't concentrate on anything for the first like 15 minutes you're back because you're soaked in sweat.
Soaked in sweat.
Or
in poly, yes. Goddamn
and polyester on our uniforms, or it's the winter and you've gone and sweated. Now you come back in. Now it's like you're freezing cold.
You're freezing cold.
So you're not really learning anything because you're just miserable.
No, and I honestly I don't understand the thought process of recess. Maybe it was to let the nuns smoke a cigarette or a joint.
How do you think they got through
right now.
teaching us?
Let me tell you something right now.
They were puffing the.
They were not on the ganj, and let me tell you why. If those nuns were smoking ganj, we would have had a much better experience with them than we did. Because they were either on coke or nothing, because they were assholes. All of them.
You're right. They weren't mellow enough to be on the ganj.
No, they were not on the ganj.
On the ganges.
They were not doing the doob.
They weren't
the weed.
They
were
weren't,
not passing the Dutch Jeep on the left hand side.
They weren't smoking the devil's lettuce.
They were not smoking the devil's lettuce. They were either, I don't know what they were doing. Do you think that nuns are lesbian?
I'm glad you went there because the answer is 100%, especially the old nuns that we had. They were all 70 plus.
No, they're not lesbians. I think they were.
What? You don't think Sister Eleanor and Sister Noreen
Kathleen
were
getting it on? They were sisters.
Yeah.
By the way, they were sisters. Did you know that?
Sisters?
Yeah, they were sisters. They were sisters.
You know what? I
all three of them.
Yeah.
Noreen, Kathleen, and
Eleanor.
Elizabeth.
Eleanor was
sisters, dude. Oh. They were hermanas. They were all related.
I think I've seen that movie.
They were hermanas or sisters.
Sisters. I think I remember two of them being sisters. I didn't know all three were, but they were. Oh man,
maybe I'm making that up.
They were crotchety. They were cranky. They were very cranky. They might have done well to hit a little boobage. Yeah.
Oh, I thought.
No, or
a little
that too.
Yeah. No, they didn't. I don't think they hit either, frankly, because I don't think they were getting any, and I don't think they were doing any. And between those two things, they were assholes.
They probably were just eating a Swanson's frozen dinner in front of Wheel of Fortune.
These were the dumbest nuns that have ever been tasked.
They shouldn't have been teaching.
With teaching the youths of the Americas.
Oh, they did not know how to teach properly.
I think we may have
They need to have real teachers.
From the dregs of the habit-wearing culture. They didn't wear habits either.
And they taught everything, all subjects that all the way through 8th grade that they were not really... they were not trained to be able to do. They didn't know what they were doing.
These are the three nuns that were between them. The one who read books upside down, Sister Kathleen.
Kathleen, that's right.
Kathleen was so
she was the one that looked like Heat Miser. I'm Mr. Heat
I'll
Miser.
tell you what,
I'm Mr. Sun.
I've never thought of that, but honestly,
I'm Mr.
That's
Green
like
Christmas.
Exactly what she looked like. Is
I'm
the crazy.
Mr. 101.
The weird thing about this is literally, if you go back, if you're listening to this and you look up Heat Miser from the what's the name of the guys who made those? Croft and no, I'm thinking
no, it wasn't Sun Marker. It was the Rudolph.
Yeah, I know, but it was one of those Christmas
specials.
But there's the name of the guys that made those all of those, but I can't remember their names. Anyway, that is exactly what Sister Kathleen looked like.
100%. that hair, the face, the wrinkle.
And Sister Elizabeth had like
no chin.
Skin hanging off of her in
And no
places that you did not want to see.
Noreen?
Elizabeth.
No, Noreen had no chin.
Noreen had no chin.
Yeah.
Elizabeth had lots of skin. It's amazing how much skin she had.
Layered it on.
But she was awful and mean, and they were all mean. Why were they so mean? Why were they mean? Why were they coming in with that attitude?
Jesus, it was.
Listen, I read the Bible.
Yeah,
we went to Catholic school. Jesus was not mean.
No, but they jammed the fear of God
not
into
Jesus.
us. They bitch slapped us with Jesus.
They Jesus slapped us.
Jesus slapped us.
Is what they did.
Yeah.
They G slapped us.
Well, that's
J
how they
slapped. We were J slapped.
That's how they tried to keep us in line, was with the fear
with the J slapping.
of J slapping.
Yeah.
You don't
Paul
do your
Sethi
studies.
got slapped for real by Sister Noreen. Do you remember that?
I do not.
You don't remember when Paul Sethi got slapped by Sister Noreen?
I forget.
Did I tell you
one.
I ran into Paul Sethi?
No.
Yes. The polo grounds?
Yes. At the yes.
It was very nice to see him actually. Wait. Sister Noreen, we were basically torturing this woman at this point because we knew we had her number as a class. We were like, she's an idiot. And we're going to like harass her and ask her all kinds of questions and not listen and goof around and throw paper airplanes. And she was losing it. And Paul said something to her, and I don't remember what it was. And she slapped him across the face.
See, if that happened now, they would just take her out and hang her.
They didn't hang her, but she didn't teach us anymore. She did end up in the convent. And there were all kinds of rumors.
So you think.
Right. Maybe they hung her. Right. They could have hung her. But rumors abounded. I remember that.
Well, you can't You can't go just slapping kids. You just can't go slapping
Not
kids.
now.
Well, as a nun, you certainly could.
You used to be able to slap kids.
Yeah.
My mother tells, because my mother went to a Catholic school in Brooklyn. And she's told me multiple stories. One time a kid got the glasses slapped right off his face. Black and blue, broke his glasses. The nun slapped the shit out of him. She was horrified. And that's multiple stories of stories like that from my mother.
And that's why
from Catholic school.
I think that's why we had recess. Actually, had nothing to do with us as kids.
Is that you've got to get away from the nuns for a minute,
and they need to get away from us because they were about to slap
kill
us.
Right?
So figure
because corporal punishment had been outlawed by the time we were in school.
Right. So we started school 8:30, and by the time you have recess, it's only been an hour and a half. That's all the longer they could deal with us. And then it's noon, 12:30. We go to lunch.
Which is a little longer.
Oh, lunch was a lot longer. Lunch was like 45 minutes.
Hold on. I remember lunch was even longer than that, and then they shortened it.
It was an hour, I think.
It was an hour and something, and then it was 50 minutes.
Yeah, they shortened it. So what happened was...
you were on the council?
I was not on the council, but I just remember that as we got older, eating was less important.
Oh, my God.
Like
we wanted to play.
Yeah, right. So it used to be you'd get out there and like you'd spend all your time eating and socializing and hanging out when you were young.
No, when we got older,
then
it was
you got
all
older, it's
organized.
Like, how fast can
games.
I wolf down this PB&J?
Yeah, we were really
suck
into
down
the
my
organized
Capri
games.
Sun.
Yeah,
eat my donut gems.
Right. So the games. The games.
By the way,
yeah.
Quick.
No, go ahead.
Quick quiz.
I mean, please.
Donut gems came in a little pack of like
of course,
like
everybody
6 or 8. Right. Yeah, you take the whole sleeve,
slam them down.
So they had different flavors. What was your favorite?
Powdered.
I was a crumb guy.
Oh, those were good.
Crumbs were fucking good.
I may change my answer, and this is not a common thing for me, as you know.
I do.
I stick to my guns.
Yeah, you stick to your powdered.
But honestly,
now that you remember it, right?
I may be going with crumb.
I bet you can taste it right now.
Are they Hostess? Were they Hostess?
Oh yeah. But I can taste that.
Oh,
it's a very specific taste.
Let me tell you, so synthetic. I can feel the synthesis of inorganic material.
I loved getting a sleeve of crumb
afterward,
and
the
then
afterbirth, the afterbirth,
and then washing it down with a yoo-hoo. Metallic.
But no, here's the best part
water
of the crumb is that you end up with crumbs.
Yeah, you get extra.
Bag.
It's like extra donut.
Exactly.
The powder, no.
And you pull it up. You hold one end with one finger and one thumb.
Oh, it was so glorious.
And you pull the back end with another finger and thumb, and you pour it down an open mouth.
And what would usually happen is the crumbs would get stuck in your throat, and you would cough like fucking crazy.
No, that was worse with the powder.
But we were trying to eat everything so
fast
fast.
as possible.
Like 10 minutes
So
to
that
5
we could-
minutes to eat.
so that we could get
so
to
we
the
had 45
organized-
minutes and play Jungle Ball.
Jungle Ball. Well, Jungle Ball was one of the games we played. We also played kickball. A lot of kickball.
A lot of kickball. Do you want to quickly go over the rules of Jungle Ball?
Yeah,
for
there are no
people that don't-
rules.
Right, exactly. That's why it's quick.
But you know,
it was basketball.
It's amazing
with no rules.
for a game that had no rules.
Yeah.
We had a basketball and a hoop, and I think we played half court.
We did.
Okay, so we played half court with a ball and a hoop, and like shit ton of boys. I don't think many girls. Did we?
No, because
Girls are doing something else.
Because even though it was Catholic school, and they weren't really watching us that closely by the
No,
time
they
we were
weren't-
6th, 7th,
they
8th
weren't
grade.
watching us at all.
We were pretty violent.
Oh, we were, dude.
So the girls weren't getting anywhere.
we were so violent.
You know what the girls were doing?
What were they doing? I don't remember.
Well, at least the cheerleaders were busy working on their dance routines to
Eye of the
Survivor's
Tiger?
Eye of the Tiger.
Oh
yeah.
my god, dude! I can't believe I said that before
You know
said
why?
that. That's amazing.
Because they played that song 85 billion motherfucking times
That's so
on
funny.
the boombox with the cassette.
I can't believe I.
They must have had 12 fucking copies of that cassette because they wore it out.
Right, but we loved it. And then it's very primal. Wait, but think about how primal that is. Here you have a group of young women, right?
Rising up.
Pre-pubescent or pubescent. We were pre-pubescent. Yeah, we were pubescent girls that are
We were
dancing to
Oh, they
Eye
were.
of the Tiger, this song about, violence and male like kind of energy. And then here we are beating the shit out of each other trying to get a ball into a hoop. There's something so tribal about all
telling
of
you.
that. It's quite fascinating, really. Anyway,
that was lunch.
that was lunch. But wait, so here's what I was going to say about Jungle Ball. It's amazing to me that for a sport that we invented that had no rules,
It was
how
just get
well
the-
mannered it was, because there
For
were
the most part.
rules. There were rules to no rules. It wasn't like no rules, no rules.
Right. I mean, you couldn't the idea was that you just, when you say no rules, it was basketball. It was
Now
half-court
we did
basketball.
tackle people to the ground,
You did tackle people.
and we're on asphalt.
Yeah.
Not a court like cement. It's
No,
asphalt.
you didn't have to dribble.
No dribbling.
Tackling was, but you couldn't like straight up hit somebody in the face. Although Thomas Coda did.
Thomas Coda did, but we'll get to that in a second. It was like you were only a target. You were only allowed to be taken out if you had the ball. And what's amazing about that is it's not like you could go up to somebody on the other team and punch them in the face, right? You had to wait till somebody had the ball. When somebody had the ball, you could go after them and try. And if they had the ball, you could destroy them as a human being.
You
You'd harm them.
And you know what that came from? You know what Jungle Ball came from? That whole part that you just
Smear the
talked-
queer.
Smear the queer.
Yeah, boy, that doesn't hold up.
It
Does
does not hold up at all these days, but
Yeah.
back then it did, because there
Smear
was
the queer.
no hoop there. That was just
It does. You're right. It does. It came
Right.
directly from Smear the Queer.
Smear the queer. It was just totally politically incorrect, but
Well,
all
yeah,
that
but we didn't think of that
No,
as gay.
no.
That wasn't the thought
no,
of
no.
queer.
All it was I don't know why that name was
I don't
that
either.
name.
I don't know where it came
But the
from.
game was simple.
Yeah.
Somebody started with a ball, and then you ran like all fucking
kill
hell
to
to kill
literally
them. And
kill
they
them.
ran away from
Wait,
you
here's
like
the question
it was
on
like the
Smear the
most
Queer.
dangerous game.
It
You were
was
like
the
getting
most
insect,
dangerous
you weren't
game.
getting shot.
But wait, I have a question about Smear the Queer. I can't believe we're saying this. I have a question about Smear the Queer. What was the objective? You had the ball. What were you trying to do? Just not be killed?
Yes. No, it was literally that. And at some point, everybody had to take the ball. So you couldn't just never take it. You would grab the ball and you just
Ran.
It was.
And then when you got grabbed, like somebody would get you, right? It was
and
always
they would-
Chad
yeah,
because
and
he
they
was
would
so
just-
fast,
He
right?
would just tackle you
Yeah.
to the ground.
Chad would knock
and then you were
down.
done, and somebody else would take the ball, and the whole thing would start over. It was basically,
It was like exerting your courage.
what it was early cardio. It got us full sprinting.
No, dude, it is so primal. Like when you think about that, like what the fuck?
And then that morphed into
Jungle Ball.
which was okay. Now we actually
kinda
need
had
to
a
put
game.
this,
And we
into
had
the- put
teams.
you had teams, and you had to put the ball into the hoop.
Right, where Smear the Queer was all about whoever had the ball was dead.
That's all it was. It was a half an hour of just.
I just want to add
tackling people.
a little disclaimer again that we did use the word queer. the word queer did not mean gay to us at that time.
Not at all.
At all.
No, it had nothing to do. We didn't even know. I mean, we were too young. We're probably like what,
And if
fourth,
it did
fifth
mean
grade,
that, we didn't have that.
We just knew what
connotation to it.
that's what the game was called.
Yes.
It had nothing to do with
it was like
anything
we
beyond the name of the game.
whoever had the ball was dead.
Right. That's all. It could have been called anything.
It could have been called, and then we turned it into Jungle Ball, where whoever had the ball was dead, but it was teams. And you were trying to get the ball into.
And
we did keep score.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good game. Now,
I remember this very, very clearly. Of all the stupid fucking things to get teased for when you're a kid,
applesauce.
Applesauce, but more so the drinks we had. So you were talking about
Capri Sun.
Exactly the topic I would like to discuss is Capri Sun. So when Capri Sun came out, that shit,
it's in a bag.
Everybody wanted it. It was in a bag.
It wasn't in a bag before. Before we had juice boxes.
Well, some of us still had juice boxes at the time. You know why?
Because your mom was buying juice boxes.
Because they were a whole fuck ton cheaper, and she had coupons for them. And Capri Sun they had fucking great flavors.
Which, by the way, your mom had a fucking Dewey Decimal goddamn system for coupons.
Well, my mom was a librarian, so you know what?
That's exactly
You're exactly fucking right. She exactly did. You should have seen her coupon setup. It was fucking bananas.
I did. I remember it.
I think one year she kept track of her savings, and it was something ridiculous. Like, I mean, it was like $2,500 but dude, in 1983 to 82,
she saved $475,000 with coupons.
On cake mix alone.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Give me your typical lunch that was packed for you, or when you were a kid. We're talking fourth, fifth,
the one
sixth,
that I
seventh grade.
wanted, or the one that I got?
No, the one you actually got.
Okay.
What did you open up? You opened your sack.
Apple.
You opened your brown bag or your
brown bag.
Brown bag. I
brown
was
bag off
in it
and
too,
brown bag in it. Apple.
What kind?
Some sort of red crispy apple.
Probably a Red Delicious,
and it
right?
wasn't delicious.
And you know what? Red Delicious aren't.
No.
That's. God damn it! We have to have a whole nother episode on apples because just on Red Delicious, because Red Delicious apples are not. Somebody needs to change what?
No, they're tart, but not so tart that it's a thing. They're just not very tasty.
I'm going to make it my fucking job from this day forward to get the name of Red Delicious apples changed to something else.
Let's just say right now what would you call it?
Fucking garbage.
No, you got to do better than that. Like maybe say ass crisps.
Yeah. By the way, complete side note. Don't want to go into it. My brother used to eat salami and peanut butter.
Oh my God.
Okay, let's move away from that. I just had to
really?
mention. Yeah.
He would eat a salinut butter sandwich.
Disgusting. I would have PB&J was a big deal. So at PB&J, usually some sort of chip.
Yeah, chips.
Yeah, I would have some chips. So it was like Lay's, Lay's potato chip. I would often
get a chip,
which seemed very generic back then. But I'm down with the Lay's.
That's what I would eat. I would literally eat the chips and throw away the rest of the lunch.
And then cookies.
And there's people starving.
I'd have like a couple Oreos or Chips Ahoy or something like that.
Cookies.
So look at that. So and then a juice box. So you've got juice box,
sugar.
You've got peanut butter and jelly. The jelly is sugar. The bread is carb sugar.
A
little bit of healthy fat with peanut butter.
That's it.
We've got our cookies, sugar. You got a potato chips, which is just empty carbs and salt.
Yeah.
And then no wonder, like by the time we finish lunch, we run around. We're all jacked up. We get back into school for like the next hour. We're about to pass out because we've been running around and we're on this fucking sugar high.
Right.
3:00 comes. We fucking go home. No wonder we didn't learn a goddamn thing.
Yeah, I mean, how were you supposed to? It's really scary.
Yeah, they jacked us up. They filled us with more crap at lunch. I don't think I had one healthy thing in a lunch.
We were basically pinatas
5 years
in the 70s.
Yeah, you could hit us with a not sharp stick. Hit us with a dull stick, and just sugar would pour out of us.
That's what we were.
Absolutely,
we were living pinatas.
And how we were able to concentrate and even learn basic arithmetic is beyond me.
We're supposed to go back in And learn?
No nutrition.
And
now they call it
end.
nutrition because they're probably actually eating nutritious things. We
Yeah.
were just sucking down sugar.
We're jacked on sugar and carbs. We go back in, and you've got turkey nun and freaking heat miser trying to teach us lessons.
No wonder we turned out like we did.
Yeah, it's embarrassing, frankly.
Yeah. Got fucked by lunch.
Thanks for listening to the Sons of San Fernando.
Don't forget to hit that subscribe or follow button in your favorite podcast app so you don't miss an episode.
Drop us a review. We'd love to hear from you.
If you'd like to support the Sons of San Fernando, the best way is to share the show.
We'll catch you on the next episode.